Greg Vaughn in the studio, special guest as we do every Tuesday. Well, depending on when you hear this, maybe you download it on Thursday, as we do every Thursday. Lee Manuel and Casey Hooper from the Working Ranch Cowboys Association are in the studio. How are y'all?
Good morning.
It's slow morning.
I'm fine.
We are moving at a fast pace this morning.
I don't
try to keep up. Just watch. Just watch.
I'm fine. But he's in the turtle races, and his turtle is losing.
Oh, I enjoy these two when they come in every week. I really do. Let's see. Today we're gonna we've kind of, since the rodeo's in this little break point. Actually, since I brought that up, before we even get into the foundation and scholarships, these guys, the rodeo season is going on, like we talked about, and there's the last one was May 5th, the next one's not till June 1st. Are any of these guys warming up? Are they taking advantage of this month to go, okay, this is going to be our rodeo to get qualified, or is it just business as usual? We're working, we do this for a living, so we don't stay till 8:00 at night practicing wild cow milking.
Yeah, most of these guys, they do enough during the day to go to the pen in the evening, and all, they don't generally get that chance.
Right. It's not like the bye week in football. You're hoping that ankle heals up. And
injured reserve,
right.
All that stuff. No, I mean, they're doing what they do.
Yeah.
And occasionally, depending on the parts of the country, they may be more busy or less busy. And
right.
if they get a chance to go do something, they might. But usually, they're just worn out and ready to...
It's just another day.
Ready to get dinner and do it all again. Yeah.
Exactly. We have been talking about the foundation, and it's been great. I love to hear the foundation stories because they're touching, they're meaningful. They kind of give a whole nother side to what you guys do as a foundation and the benefits to being part of the foundation. So it's been pretty neat.
Yeah, it's a great platform, as we've said, to tell our story, and everybody very excited. Tickets are about to come on sale for the World Championship here June 1st, so that's always a big thing. This gives us a chance to tell everyone why we really do what we do as far as trying to promote this lifestyle and put on that World Championship Ranch Rodeo, and that's our foundation component.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about some crisis situations, and today Casey's going to talk to you a little bit about the scholarship side of our foundation. So that's exciting.
Yeah, we get to do some happier stuff, huh?
Well, happier.
Well, not happy from start to finish.
Well,
not
the parents are happy.
Yes.
The wives, the parents, the husbands, they're happy.
They're even
about
more than happy.
In 2001, when the foundation came on board and got their nonprofit status and the ball was rolling, there were 2 scholarships given, and they were $500 a piece. And that was a one-time deal, and it was, thank you for doing what you do, and the meaning was there. But if you take from 2001 to where we are today, last year was around $42,000 with roughly 38 scholarship applicants from across the United States, from Oregon, and I have a girl right now in Anchorage, Alaska.
Wow.
She's out of Arizona, but she chose to move there with her husband for the military to Anchorage.
That is neat. I think that's probably something that's probably lost on a lot of people is just the actual Working Ranch Cowboys Association is not just, we talked off the air about, how we don't bring up Amarillo too much, but if you're living in Amarillo and you're from Amarillo, you probably are familiar with seeing the WRCA this or that around town, but it goes way further than just here in the panhandle of Texas. It really, you're talking about Arizona, Alaska, and so you don't just have to be from the Texas panhandle to join the Working Ranch Cowboys Association.
No, you do not. And the other thing about crisis and scholarship is you do not have to be a member of the association to receive assistance or scholarship. Now, we are darn sure membership, we want people to become a member.
Exactly.
But I say only, and it comes with a very heavy load, but you have to make a significant living as a working ranch cowboy and or their immediate family on a cattle ranch. And so right here in our backyard, and I say probably an hour west of here, we were kind of blessed with the Richardson family. Their father manages a ranch, and they're 2 working ranch cowboy kids. And we're going to talk to Katy Lynn, and I think she goes by the name of Katy.
Mm-hmm.
But they're out of Adrian. And her brother Cody was the first one out of the family to receive the scholarship.
Oh, neat.
Yes, sir. And then he went to Sol Ross and pursuing, and day worked down there with area ranchers to stay within in the summer to keep his pocket full. Very, very good family. And so I just wanted to kudos to that.
Well, let me ask you this then. All these kids who do get the scholarships, is it a requirement that they go right back into the working ranch? Is there some agriculture degree they need to be shooting for? Whatever the degree they're going for, does it have to be ranch related? Or can you go for accounting? Can you go for communications?
You can go where the sky is the limit. You know, we never want to limit these ranch kids on thinking they have to major or pursue a degree in agriculture.
Very
now,
cool.
I would think that, I don't know what the percentage, it's high because you're only going to go into something you feel comfortable doing, right?
Right.
But we're kind of set in a different spoke of the wagon wheel, for lack of better words. We have some kids that go all 4 years and become a teacher. And then our scholarship also covers if you want to get your welding certificate for aluminum welding.
Right.
All right. And then we might go into equine dentistry. And those are 1 year to 2 year programs. And we will accommodate that individual and help as much as we can for them to fulfill that goal. All scholarships are important. And I don't have children, but I do watch my friends that their kids are graduating and they kind of get lost in the graduations coming up from high school. And the first thing they're thinking is, oh my gosh, I hope they get on someone's grub line because I'm only going to send them this much money a week to eat. But with our kids, and it's humbling and heartfelt for us because actually that dad and mom or that husband and wife that's working on the ranch, it's a prideful impact to know your people, your like kind is helping your kid. Yeah. And we understand that. Yeah. The scholarships have now, you come in as a freshman and you receive this much. And then we carry them for 4 years.
That's great. Yeah.
Based on eligibility.
Yeah.
I would probably say, and I'm going to ask Katy when she's on the phone, she carries a 4.0.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of our ranch kids or kids in agriculture in general, they have work ethic. And, they know how to strive for that end, the prize.
Exactly.
They keep that prize in their eyes. Yeah. So I don't know how better else to say it than a great family. And we're just looking forward to talking to her this morning.
How many of them come back and become members or stay members or?
They do. Some of them end up going off and competing on a ranch team themselves or they're already on a ranch team. The cool thing is when you have a couple in the same school and they might not know each other and then it's a common thread that brings them together. And the really cool side to our scholarship is there's a name scholarship that Katy receives and it's the Karen L. Smith Memorial Scholarship. Those of you who have attended the World Championship Ranch Rodeo know and are familiar with Pokey the Clown. Well, in 2012, Karen, his wife, passed away, and he wanted to do something in her memory. So when you go to championship and you're on the concourse and you see his cars that he just brags on, those stick horses that are sticking out of there are raise money for the Karen L. Smith Memorial Scholarship.
Oh, that's cool.
And so when you talk about longevity and the history behind WRCA, it was probably in 1997, Pokey kind of started wanting to introduce how he could implement the ranch kids and compete. And so he does it on stick horses and cows on water skis, stimulate the milking.
That's cool.
And he's been with us. And then in 2015, he hung up that part. Yeah. Pokey the Clown went into hibernation, but he's not. Junior Ranch Rodeo for the championship ended. Yeah. But he carried on his memory through his wife's scholarship. I know that, I get really kind of, not emotional, but a passion behind this part. There was a crisis recipient that we had, and his 3 boys all worked on the ranch, and we had to assist. He had a heart attack, stroke situation happen, and we helped those boys with the scholarship, with the crisis. Yeah. And that one individual I'm talking about was Justin Cormack, and he actually is now the medical doctor.
That's neat. That is really neat. It obviously had an impact on him.
It did have an impact on him. Yeah. And what the impact was the rural America setting. He wanted to bring what he learned and his education back to rural America.
Yeah, that's cool. We're going to get Katy Lynn on the phone here, and we'll talk to her about her scholarship and what she's doing. And on the phone, it's Katy Richardson out of Adrian, Texas, not too far, right where the studios are here in Amarillo. Katy, how are you?
I'm doing good today. How are you?
Good. Do you want me to? Okay, so do we call you? Because it's funny because Casey Hooper in Lehman Wall in the studio with us. She sent me an email about you, and she said it's Katy Lynn or Katy Jo or Katy.
Yeah, I go by a lot of names. I like to tell people Caitlin's my name when I'm in trouble.
So Caitlin, there's a fourth one too.
Well, see, and Katy Jo.
Yeah.
And Katy is how I call her, but yeah, I'm Cher, so I don't know what the big deal is.
There's a lot of them there.
Katy is a recipient of one of the WRCA's scholarships that they give out, and I'll actually let Casey talk a little bit more about that. And congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So, and you can correct me when I'm done with all this, but so in 2016 we get this application come in March, and it was done in such a professional way. I thought, oh my gosh, what the heck, Boy, they must have had good Wi-Fi connection at the ranch that day. But the Richardson name rang a bell with us because in 2014, her brother Cody was a recipient of a scholarship. And so when Katy Jo applied, of course, her accolades rang out the bell, but basically the biggest thing was she was the daughter of a working ranch cowboy and day works herself. And she had a passion and a story. And I should have brought that application with me, how she felt she was deserving of a foundation scholarship. And whenever a kid will apply like that and they tell the story and the passion behind it and the heritage and tradition that flows through their veins, it's a very hard decision for the board to do. I mean, and to top it off, 4.0 student. And then nowadays you go through school and you can become a sophomore in college and you're a junior in high school. So it gets I always have to educate the board a little bit on how all that works. And then due to her accolades and her advancement at West Texas A&M, we moved her up to a named scholarship, which is a little bit more funding. And she receives the Karen L. Smith Memorial Scholarship. So, Katy, what was your drive basically to the foundation and how did you find out basically about us?
I found out about the foundation. Like you said, my brother had received a scholarship from y'all a couple years before, and he got moved on to a named scholarship as well while he was at Sul Ross. But our family, we worked for a ranch just outside of Amarillo. And so, there's the big the ranch rodeo finals, and we would always go to the finals when I was little. Once a year, just kind of a thing to get out and come to town and see people, from all over that my dad's worked with in the past or just friends of ours, because everyone just comes up here to the finals. And while we were walking through the trade show one day, we passed y'all's foundation booth, and y'all actually, we were talking with me and my brother and my mom and talking about how y'all had scholarships available for him. So we found out from y'all mainly at the finals.
The coolest thing that we're honored with is the fact that the kids aren't just a number with us. And there is a tie with the family and there's a tie with the ranches and there's going to be this history now that has started and created a bond of heritage, a tradition with these families. And so you nailed it right on the head whenever you said you were walking by the foundation booth and everyone's like, hey, Cody, you should apply for that. Or, hey, Katy Jo, you should apply for this. And But then 2 years ago, during championship, we do our scholarship and crisis brunch auction that takes place on every Saturday of the championship or the Saturday of championship, And Katy, she was always willing to help out, always willing to come in and kind of tell people and thank our donors. Our donors are the reason why this is happening. Our donors are the reason why we can help these kids take that path and allow them to kind of spread their wings when they come off the ranch. It gives them that little bit of faith and hope that they'll be okay.
Yes,
Katy,
ma'am.
you're at WT, right?
Yes, sir, I am.
What are you studying? Kind of talk to us about your current studies and where you're kind of seeing your future. What are you thinking is going to be your path?
Well, I came to WT, with the intentions of being a large animal vet. And I got here and, I realized that if I wanted to be a large animal vet, I would one day want to own my own clinic. And that, really wouldn't give me the freedom to, be at home with my family and raise my kids the way that my parents raised me. It was always real important to me that my mom was a stay-at-home mom, and her and my dad were both able to go, to any kind of function that I had going on. And also, if I was running my own clinic, I wouldn't really be free to work at home on the ranch like what I wanted to. So I kind of decided to step off of that route, and I'm still getting my degree in animal science. I'm set to graduate next May, actually.
Woohoo!
And yeah, I'm excited about that. And I'm planning on, once I get my bachelor's degree, getting my master's degree in either animal reproduction or in a more nutrition route, where I can combine both the reproduction and the nutrition, like with a cow-calf scenario. And there's actually a professor at a university that one of my professors here has been telling me about that kind of has a program that combines both of those together that I'm looking at going into. So,
see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You see how these kids are so mapped out on work ethic that it just makes me look horrible. And the lack of but that brought up a good point, and this happens a lot with us. When a recipient finishes their 4 years, then Katie Jo can reapply, and we could, based on board approval, can help her through graduate school.
Right.
So they can continue on after the 4 years, reapply, and we can hopefully help her carry on more.
Great.
So we've got their back.
Yeah.
But I have to. Just the morals and the work ethic and that heritage and tradition that her parents instilled in her. Mm-hmm. Behind every good cowboy is a wife that is a go-getter, right? And
exactly.
To give a lot of times miles put you away from town.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of times it's a homeschool situation, or the mother of the child is always the one that is staying at home. Mm-hmm. And that's a choice of the family, Yeah. But that's not always the case.
Exactly.
That's not always the situation. But the stand-up family, and make sure you give your brother Cody a really hard time. Hey, real quick, what is Cody doing? Is he still down there in the Alpine area?
No, he's not. He's actually moved back up here around this area, and he's day working out at the ranch, with my dad some, and then for a couple of ranches around in this area. He ended up not staying down there.
Well, I know that they really enjoyed him down there. It seemed like I was getting calls about spring work time asking where Cody was at, because a couple of those ranchers used him a lot.
Yes, ma'am, that they did. He did really well down there, and he really enjoyed it down there at Alpine.
It is pretty cool to sit here and hear these stories about these young folks and how dedicated they are. I wish as a junior I had half as much knowledge of what I was doing with my life. That's pretty cool. Our mission is it's powerful to us, and Casey and I were fortunate enough to get to go to work every day and know that we're actually truly making a difference. It's kind of refreshing to have these moments,
right,
to remind you that you're working for something that's so meaningful to people, and then to hear this family, they truly are working our mission for us, because it's about preserving and protecting this way of life. And Cody and Katie, they are the mission. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The part of that equation to our mission statement and part of the stuff that we do, they are our best salespeople.
Yep.
So we have to leave that good taste in their mouth. And don't call them to do radio interviews and freak them out.
No, you're perfectly all right. I was super excited whenever you called and, asked so that I could have the opportunity to do this, because, I don't know if y'all realize how much families like ours appreciate what y'all do, because growing up the way we did, I wouldn't change it for the world. It's greatly impacted in my life and made me into the person I am today. But, when you decide you want to go to college, it's hard for you to figure out, well, how am I going to pay for it? Because it's gotten so expensive now, And, if it wasn't for foundations like y'all's and other cowboy heritage-based foundations, I get several scholarships from a couple of other different ones, too.
Well, and I think this one...
I wouldn't be at school right now.
Well, and you know what? We're proud that you said that. And it takes a whole village to help a kid out. And we take pride of sharing the foundation and the walk with other foundations. But I'm going to set us apart just for 2 seconds and just say we have all been where you're at. And we believe in the working ranch cowboy, and we believe in what their children and themselves, because we have non-traditional students go back. We are very prideful in putting our Working Ranch Cowboy Association Foundation stuff and our logo going to the school every semester. When I send that check to WT, they're seeing that, and I have a lot of pride in it. That's our kid. You know, that's one of ours. So you're not just a number.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I know you're officially out, right, for the summer?
Yes, sir. I am very excited
that was
about that.
Yeah,
Yes,
just like my
sir.
daughter. Finals are over.
Oh, yes. Yes.
knowing
It was a struggle.
Yeah, well, knowing Katy, she's got things lined up.
I was going to say,
she's working there at WT.
Yeah.
She's got stuff.
What's happening with you in the summer?
I work here on campus in a job that's been really good for me. And then in the month of June, I'm taking 2 summer classes.
Ooh.
And then when I get those done, I'll still work here through July. And I'm planning on going home at the end of July for, that last week and into the month of August so that I can work at home because we'll start picking up bulls and shipping and whatnot. And I'll work there right up until classes start again.
That is very awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Very awesome.
Yeah, it is. Katy, it's good to get to talk to you today, and good luck the rest of the way.
Well, thank y'all so much. I appreciate it.
We will be in touch, sister.
Okay.
Yeah.
She was great. It's great to have that youth and that energy and goals. What a good kid. And she's got a job and she's got 2 summer classes coming up. Wow, and hats off to her.
It's that ingrained work ethic.
Yeah. Like Lehman said, if I knew that much when I was a junior, I'm thinking, man, if I knew that much now.
That's what I'm saying. I almost wish I had that much energy now.
Well, I had the
She's
energy,
great.
but I didn't have the smarts. I barely stayed eligible.
Great kid. What a great kid to talk to. So if people out there listening, they're like, I'd like to help them out or be a part of that, or I've got a kid that needs to apply for that. Give us the entire scoop. Start with how do people help with this? They hear a girl like Katy and like, wow, how do we donate to that? How do we become a part of this? How do we help out? What do they do?
Sure. Katy Jo had mentioned that her whole path kind of was created at the World Championship Ranch Rodeo.
Yep.
And so during the championship, we have our auction and brunch and our live auction there. And then we have our donation boxes set up.
Right.
But you don't have to do it just in November. You could go to WRCA.org and you can make a donation to the foundation. Restricted to scholarships. If you would want to basically make a difference, that was always open and willing and taken in with open arms. And know that it is a nonprofit status. And so your donation is tax deductible.
Yeah, or you can go old school, if you don't want to do it digitally.
Write a check.
You can write a check and send it to our address there. That's on our website. You can find that address. And, one thing that we've started, Casey, that is kind of new, there's actually this app called Givelify. Mm-hmm. It's a really cool deal. If you download it onto your phone and say you search for the WRCA Foundation, you'll actually find us on there and you can donate through that Givelify app. I've done it. It's very easy and user-friendly, so that's another way, a couple of digital ways. Or the old school, write that check, put a stamp on it, and mail it to us. We'll sure put it to good use.
Right.
The scholarship applications are done on a yearly basis. So after January, each year, January 1st, you can call the office and request an application for scholarship. And the deadline for that is March 1st. And that's when all the applications come in. And then the board has the heavy duty of actually going through some very good quality kids. And this year's applications, they had it hard.
Yeah.
They had a really hard year.
A lot of good kids.
A lot of good kids and a lot of good Working Ranch Cowboy kids.
Yeah.
And ranch owners. And it was probably one of the years that I felt really, really bad for the board because they had to scratch their head and take a deep seat and really do some thinking.
Yeah, boy, it's got to be tough.
It is tough. It is. And we want to help them all. That's the thing.
Exactly.
I mean, because we want these kids to go out and have a little burden lifted off of their shoulders and off their parents' shoulders. And it is what it is. But if you'd love to donate or if you want to visit and talk to me about it, call the office and I'll walk you through the steps. Yeah. I will say that not only, so Adrian, Texas was put on the dot today.
Right.
So kudos to them.
Yeah.
And we've got kids from, like I'd mentioned before, from Alaska all the way to Oregon.
Yeah.
Somehow, some way, they wanted to go to that school. And I'm sure their parents scratched their heads and said, what in the heck are you leaving the ranch for and going to? That's a long ways away. What am I going to do with spring work? So how?
Exactly.
But while these kids are in school, they miss those days.
Yeah.
When they're sitting in that pre-cal class in March, they're thinking, I wished I was carrying the dope bucket helping my dad during the Brandon.
And it's not just, I know if you're listening going, well, I don't own a ranch. I've never worked on a ranch. Don't know what a dope bucket is. It's okay if you're feeling generous and you're a fan of the lifestyle. I've never lived the lifestyle. Closest I ever got was when I was in Michigan. There was a farm near us, and we would walk past the cows. And there was a turkey farm. One time I got when the turkeys were delivered, you take them out of the box, you dip their nose in water, and you dip their nose in some food so they know where it's at, and you set them free. And we did that for like 3 hours. That's about my experience on the farm. Oh, one time we got to actually feed a cow with a big bottle. I thought that was I was like 10, But I am a huge fan of the lifestyle. I think it's a neat lifestyle. The values that like even America were built on, or especially when you see all the bad things going on in the world, there is this subculture in America that is still values driven. So I'm a huge fan of the lifestyle.
Right. And we're fortunate that most of the folks that support the WRCA Foundation are from the lifestyle, but a lot of them are not.
Yeah.
We have people from all over the world that send contributions into the foundation. And it is probably because exactly what you just said. They see how this industry treats each other. Mm-hmm. They can respect it even if they're not a part of it. And that draws them to give. But admittedly, it is usually the people that grew up in this lifestyle or that live it that want to give back and support people just like themselves. Yeah. They may have gotten support from us, Casey, at one time, and now they're giving back. Yeah. And we are here today to tell that story and to let you know that the way we help people is through support. And there are multiple ways that people can give, and we just really are thankful for every dollar that comes through the door because it is meaningful.
I sure don't want to get Craig on his tail feathers. My dad always said you will learn something new every day, and shabam, I learned something today.
You're going to become a turkey farmer?
Well, I'm wondering if that's that is like, who knew?
Yeah. We also used that pasture to pick up cow pies. We wrapped them up one year, gave one of our teachers a present.
I cannot say on the air. Not the best kid
in the world.
I cannot say on the air what my mind is thinking, which is very unusual for me, but I'm not. I'm not going to do it.
Did you get an A in that course? I'm just wondering.
No, I'm not sure which courses I ever got A's in. I look at people like Katy and go, oh, man, that is so cool.
Yeah. Casey, did you ever wrap up a cow pie and take it to a teacher back in your days?
Well, in the next segment, New Mexico Game and Fish are my friends.
Working Ranch Cowboys Association, WRCA.org. Please go and please support and tune in next week. Who knows what we'll have? We'll find a turkey farmer.
No, turkey. I love turkey.
Yeah, the big semi came in once a year, and then we had no more turkeys.
I wonder where they went.
I don't know.
You drowned at every single one of them. You were waterboarding before it even was cool.
That's right.
You see little Craig with that turkey in his hand. He's like, drink, turkey.
It stopped moving.
Question to the listeners. How do you castrate turkeys?